Welcome to the Transformation Institute's podcast for change. Here is our host, Omari Jahi Aton.
Hi, everyone. So tonight, Omari will not be joining us. It will be myself and the other four guests. Well, not guests, but the other four members will be talking about grief. And before we get started, let's welcome everyone. Welcome Brenda,
Hi,
Darlene,
guys. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Kim, affectionately known as Miss Me Too, and V. So, hello everyone. So, as I said, tonight we're going to be dealing with grief and especially grief around the holidays. So, as we know, it's a emotion that is needed and natural, and grief doesn't always affect us, and it's not always about the loss of life. Many situations kind of touch on grief. It could be losing a significant other, it could be losing a job, but all of these things evoke emotions of grief. So let's get started and talk about it. Anyone want to begin and talk about how maybe grief affects you around the holiday season?
Okay.
Well, I would say grief for me around the holiday season. Um, it's just I think so many people I know and so many people I'm close to have lost people really, really close to them, and so many people that I know are grieving so hard around these times, around the holidays, that I can actually even feel it through them. I know obviously I don't feel it like they do, but it just makes me sad to see other people so sad around these times.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just breaks my heart. And so around this time, I'm always making sure I pray for people and just making sure I let people know that I'm there for them any way I can be, even if it's just an ear, just to listen if they had to get anything off their chest or off their mind. And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thankfully for me, I don't know. I can't, I don't think we ever lost anyone right around the holidays or anything, but, um, and in our family, we haven't lost any. Oh, yeah, we did. We lost somebody this year, but I don't know. I don't get weighed down with grief. But sometimes out of the clear blue sky, just um my mom is in a nursing home, and some mornings I wake up. She lived in the building. We owned the building together, and she was on the first floor. So some mornings I wake up, and especially I was sick the last couple of weeks, and I didn't go to see her so that I wouldn't make her sick. And I would just get up, and the minute my feet hit the floor, I would begin to have tears in my eyes. I would think about that she's not here. So it wasn't grief from a death, but and I'm not, and I don't know, everybody's grief is different, but it would hit me like a rock. So uh and I would begin to, try to think better thoughts, and I just say a prayer for her. But that would also make me begin to pray for those who are grieving, who cannot see their loved ones. I can still see my mom. I can go and talk to her, and I'm grateful for that. But I do feel like you, V, you have friends who are hurting around the holidays. And, I have some people who have close friends who have lost children. And I've never lost a child, but I can't even imagine that. So I looked up grief, and I saw that it was um, just coping, a way of coping with loss. There is no definite definition for it. It's the grief is different to everybody. Some people, they, without thinking, will walk up to you and say, I know, baby, I know what you're going through. I feel, they'll say that. And sometimes people get angry because you don't know, they don't feel as if you know what they're going through. Some people feel like they're drowning, so we don't know what to say sometimes about grief. But I just tend to keep it simple and give a hug or say a prayer or something.
Okay. Anyone else?
I can go next. Like I said earlier, I am experiencing grief. Lost a close friend last week, uh, a week before Thanksgiving. It's hard for all of us because it was just a shock. And try not to be consumed in the grief because, like you said, Brenda, it can overwhelm you and it can drown you. I just try to, when I go down that road, I just take my mind back to the good times that we had and the laughters that we shared, and try to stay in that positive zone because, I was a good friend. We were best friends. We were buddies. So try to think about the good times, and then, of course, your parents not being here and not trying to go down that rabbit hole. you know Again, a lot of people not really feeling Thanksgiving next week, but I'm gonna still go and try to fellowship with someone who I know is lonely
Yeah,
around Thanksgiving. So me and my sister gonna go visit her because she can't get her kids to come see her. So we're gonna go spend a little time with her, fellowship with her, because she is up in age, and she is like a second mom. So if something did happen and we didn't go, I would feel that regret. So I'm go fellowship with her for a while, just get my mind off of it, and then the fact that I'm bringing joy to someone else because
yes,
she's feeling grief because she don't have her family with her. She can't get her
yes.
kids to come see her. So in dealing with my grief, I'm shifting that grief into bringing joy to someone else who's having grief in a different way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. That's a really good thing around the holidays. Today I stopped by the restaurant, and when we were going in the restaurant, just a quick fast, Pete, what is it? I can't think of the name of it now. Jimmy's hot dog. So there was two people sitting outside. They weren't together. They were just a little space apart, but they both almost at the same time said, "Can you spare some change?" And so I'm like, I just kind of nodded my head and went in the restaurant. But when I came out, before I came out, I reached in my pocket and I just had a couple of dollars. But I sometimes you think about, I first thought is, do what they're going to do with this. I have to tell myself I can't worry about what they're going to do with that. You don't know what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? We can assume all we want to, just like you said with the lady whose kids are visiting her. We're living in a different time now. A long time ago, family was getting together for Thanksgiving and holidays. They were planning way before the holiday came. Now there's probably a lot of lonely people, mothers included, whose children are not deceased. So when I came out, I went over there to get a guy something, and then the girl jumped up and said, "Can I get some too?" And I was like, "Okay." I was coming to her, but it makes you feel good to just help somebody. If there's a song, if I could just help somebody along the way, hey, then my living would not have been in vain. We
Mhm.
helping, going to visit that lady for Thanksgiving. You probably don't know how much that means to her. Grief is that tells us that grief is not only because people think it's only when somebody has died, but it's not. It's not.
Mhm. That's I like that idea, Kim, and it speaks volumes of who you are as
Yeah.
a person. It's almost as like you said, that mother is experiencing her own level of grief, and it's not due to a loss of a person's life is due to the loss of all those memories that she probably had with the same people that's not showing up for her. And we don't know why they aren't, or if it's something going on where they can't be together. But if you grew up around holidays full of love and joy and
Mhm.
laughter, and now you're lonely, that takes a toll on you. It really
That's a
does.
form of grief.
it,
Yeah.
it does, and it evokes all of those emotions. And sometimes, for some of us, we think, oh, get out your feelings. Well, no, it's not that simple, because these are real emotions, and they can either bring us joy or pain. And a lot of times they bring us pain, and we kind of like check out for a minute emotionally, and it goes into depression. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure she
Mhm.
will be filled with joy just to have you all there.
Yeah, 'cause she's excited. It's my stepmom, and she grew up with a lot of kids all around in the house, a house full of kids. But now the kids are all grown, living out of state, and they was like, it's hard to come back, especially during the
Yeah.
week, because a lot of people don't have the next day off. So
Mm.
she excited
Yeah,
that me and
or
my sister
I
are coming.
yeah, or either they probably could have sent for her. I don't know if she can travel, but that probably would have
She
made her
can,
day too. She
but
can't.
again, she can, but again,
Okay.
how things go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids live their own
That's
lives.
no
Ain't got
big
time
deal.
for you.
I
Yeah.
think for me, grief around some holidays are worse than others. Traditionally, I don't really go through the true blues, even though I really don't celebrate the holidays like I used to. Um, for me, Mother's Day is the one that triggers it for me. And that's due to one, no longer having a mother that's living. Two, because my biological father died on Mother's Day, the year he died. My
Mm.
niece died 2 days before Mother's Day. I
Wow.
have several family members who died before Mother's Day, and we would be having their funerals around that time. And the craziest one of all, one year we were in Alabama for a family member's funeral. My little sister went out and came back, and she didn't wake me up that night. But while they were out, they found out that she had lost her grandmother, who was here in Chicago. So it's
Mm.
like, for her, we both have all the same things why Mother's Day is tough for us. Now, Thanksgiving looks like it may be turning into one of those type of days for me, because my mother's birthday is November 14th. Um, my play brother Terry, and I hate to call him a play brother because we grew up so close, and for a lot of people when we were younger, they just thought he was my real brother. Um, because I guess they would see him with all my family all the time, and I guess if they looked at Trent and looked at him, they thought maybe they resembled or something. But
Mhm.
his birthday was yesterday. So now we have birthdays November 14th, 19th. My sister's birthday is tomorrow, and God knows if anything happened to her, this would make November definitely the same way as Mother's Day is for me. But I think with most of these situations in the holidays, it all depends on how my mental process is around when these days are approaching. This year, for whatever reason, my mother's birthday hit me kind of hard. So I'm thinking, between now and Thanksgiving, yeah, the grief will probably still be there. I'm getting
Mhm.
shaken up just thinking about the stuff. So like I said, so grief, and there's no time limit on it.
No,
You see me shook up right now, you would think I just lost my mother. This was 18 years without her. So yeah, it doesn't matter like how much time goes by, because one day I'm good, next year I may be ha ha hee and kikiing. But for whatever reason, depending on like what I'm going through, it affects everything. So for me, this holiday is one of those days where the grief is taking over. Um,
Okay, I
Same here.
had looked up five. I saw that there was 5 stages of grief. I mean, I'm not exactly in line with all of these. I don't know, but the first one was denial.
Denial.
Like when
Hmm.
yeah, when you're grieving and it's like you can't believe this happened, or you hear something, or even when you come home from the hospital or whatever, you still
You still
can't
don't
believe
grasp
it.
it.
Beg your pardon?
I said you still can't grasp it. Like,
Right. You
no, this can't
still
be real. No, it ain't
so
real.
yeah, no, yeah, it feels like it's not real. Um, I remember my dad lived with me for I think around 7 years before he passed. My dad and I had not been when he asked me could he live with me, I wanted to say no, you can't live with me. But I was raised right, so and I was an empty nester, so I let him live with me. And I remember when my niece called to tell me my dad died here at home. And when my niece called to tell me, I mean, in those 7 years, we got a little bit better with each other. But as a grown kid, I kept some things in my head about him, which was probably wrong. But we got along better. We got better in the last year. And but when he died, it hit me like a rock, like and I think since then, um, I strive to treat everybody right. You know what I'm saying? Like, let go of things that hurt you in the past.
Hmm.
Not that you forget them, but you forgive. If you really forgive, then you let go of things so that because people talk about this. When they die, then you're at their funeral and you're crying and
Acting a
you all
fool.
those things. Yeah, but during your life, like you say to the lady that you got, going to sit with, for Thanksgiving, you know, we get older and your kids don't come by like they used to. The grandkids grow up, they don't come by like they used to. Um, but at the funeral,
Mm.
everybody be there, everybody
Hmm.
crying, everybody love you. So I don't know if anything to get out of this show tonight, which started a little late and we kind of, little out of sorts. If anything to get out of it, what I've heard tonight is um, to to help some grief is to help somebody else deal with theirs.
Hmm.
You know, I
And
think
I think
that's it.
about all the older people that's in these nursing homes and these senior homes. And like you said, kids, they so busy doing their own things, they don't really come spend time with them. They probably going through their own grief with the loss of being with their families. Now that
Yeah,
they're older and now that they're, probably bedridden and nobody really comes spend time with them and see them. They going through grief too. And
Hmm.
it's
yeah,
and I think and one of the things that Vanessa sent us, some of the points, it said that there's different types of grief. There's loss from a job, loss from a marriage or a friendship, loss from the family. Your family don't come around like they used to, especially if you guys were so used to being all together, especially when, your grandmama was around. And when she passed, that kind of like broke the family up. And so
yeah,
we have to be mindful of that too, because it's like, yes, we might be hurting, but we can redirect that pain to cheer someone else up that's still here,
yeah,
bringing them some joy in their grieving times. So I
yeah,
think that's something that, a lot of people should think about too around the
yeah. And I
holidays.
think
Like
that that
who I can
can't
go
that
spend
can't
some
hurt.
time with.
Yeah, that can't hurt anybody. I don't think that.
Mm-mm.
How could that hurt anybody? Helping somebody else. through a sad time, how could that hurt anybody else? I think that can only help to heal even the person who may not be grieving anything. I'm sure going to help somebody else be with somebody else during that time got to do something for them. I believe that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Darlene, did you want to say anything?
Well,
You gonna make us cry?
nope.
Take your time. Look, you see, I did it. I wasn't even
Okay.
trying.
But this time of the year is almost what you was describing for Mother's Day. So we have family members who's died on Thanksgiving Day.
Mm,
Um, being at a funeral while we find out another nephew has been murdered.
Mm.
People birthdays around this time. The card games ain't the same. And me myself, I am blessed to have my 81-year-old mom and my father
wow.
just turned 86 on the 18th.
Mm.
But something be said about that energy though. I didn't lose my child, but it's a lot of family members has lost theirs.
Yeah.
And that energy does comes over and you don't want to say that one thing because I don't know what it feels like.
Right.
But during this time, I try my best to control my thoughts and say and feel, not just say, but feel how thankful I am. I can remember actually being cold blue so many times or trying to grasp my last breath and thought it was it for me. And I'd be pleading and begging to God, please, please let me see my kids. Please let me live long enough to be there with my grandkids, to see my grandkids.
Mm.
And
Mm,
all the things that you'll go through in your head when you think tomorrow is not coming. But then
mm,
when the day comes, the next day comes, we act like it didn't happen, that you didn't almost cold balloon and all the things that you said you will say to the people and all the things you said if you was given the opportunity, would you do it? I just think right now it is definitely difficult, but if someone got 21 years with their son, if we could just try to reverse the thoughts and say that I didn't lose him, but I was blessed to have a son for 21 years.
yeah.
If I
Mhm.
could reverse our thoughts to be thankful for whatever God bless us with and not continue to think of the things that we no longer have, the people we no longer have, the things that we no longer have, and even some locations we no longer be able to go to. And just to be thankful for the opportunity. If you ever experience love, I mean love, if you ever experience where someone actually loved you, if you had a grandmother or a child or a parent who loved you unconditionally, then you should be
Mm.
thankful that you know what that experience is like. And if you
Talk,
love
Mhm.
someone
Darlene.
even if you're not with that person no more. But if you ever love someone, that's a blessing and stuff because some people never experience what true love is.
Amen.
So I just feel that during during this time of the year, if just can control or shift the thoughts and try to be like Kim say, help that mother be there in that space to help that mother feel better, give throw a joke or help that child who no longer have their parent. Just be there for one another and just try to be thankful for the memories.
Wow. Cause you
That was
just made
deep.
me think of
That was
when
deep.
that was deep. That was real deep. You made me think of who Kim said nursing home. Well, yeah, my mom's in a nursing home. When I go there, I make sure I speak to every one of those people when I pass by their rooms or if they're in the hall. I don't know names or anything, but I make sure I greet them because I don't know who gets visitors and who don't. But
Right.
what I just thought about was when you Darlene said if somebody had their son for 21 years and be thankful, even though you're not saying it, like you better be grateful, you know what I'm saying? You gotta reverse that thought and think of God bless me, because some people not their kids die as babies,
Mm-hmm.
little children, so it's not to minimize anybody's hurt, but I have a coworker, lady that I used to work with years ago, a Caucasian lady, and her son died from an overdose. So I see her on social media. She's always talking, helping somebody, and her hashtags are something like "Don't do drugs." She always has these
Mm-hmm.
nice things. Today was her son's birthday, and she talked about how she wished that as a mother when he was younger, that she was one of those mothers that didn't let him get dirty, you know, watched everything he did, didn't let him play certain games, you know what I'm saying? So today in her happy birthday thing to him, she talked about she wished she had let him get dirty sometime. You know what I'm saying? You be a mom that's trying to keep the kids, away from people who got colds, trying to keep them from this and keep them from that. And now she wished she had let him just do some things, eat the candy, do the stuff that you try to stop your kids from doing. We sometimes we only come to things after the grieving process or during the grieving process. Uh, this of us talking right now should help us to know to do things now, to not wait for anything. There's some kids in foster homes not being, they're not going to get adopted.
Right.
There's some kids on the street right now. We have to learn to open our hearts now for stuff. If we've never done it before, let's try, let's find out where there's some kids who don't have a family for Thanksgiving, but they're at a place where some people could come in. A long time ago, our church used to go, our women's group used to go to the nursing homes, to different nursing homes to sing, not just on holidays though. I think we had like a one Sunday or two Sundays out of the month, to go and just to sing and share a little while with people. So
Bring
in
them
the world that
church.
we're living in, huh?
I said, y'all brought them church.
You, you said we brought them to church. Yeah, we took
Yeah,
the
brought the
church
church
to
to
them.
them.
We took the church to them. Yeah,
That's good.
and
That's
I don't
good.
know, we haven't done that. Haven't done that in a while. But yeah, this during
I, wa-
this time when stuff seems, when there are people grieving and stuff, we need to be cognizant of that there are, and even some of the people that we're gonna be around. You don't know what people going through when you're around them now. Even our kids, my kids are all grown. My daughter, my baby girl is 41 years old. Um, Sometimes you don't know what they're experiencing in their mind. They
yeah.
come around and they can be smiling and talking and laughing with you. So, you know, um, I think you said that, Vanessa, you gotta feel with your heart, or Darlene, whatever. You gotta feel. Like V said, he can feel the energy.
Mm-hmm. You can.
Let yourself feel the energy. Let us not be weary and well doing. Okay, I thought we was gonna talk a little bit about the situation that happened this week with the mother that the children fought.
And
Can we all just,
I was going to
yeah,
piggyback off what you said, Brenda, about how your church went out to the nursing home, but no one's talking about visiting homes for the troubled kids.
Right.
And I think that's the problem. Yes, these kids should be punished for what they done, but their punishment shouldn't be jail. Their punishment should be going to a home for troubled kids or battered women so they can see what it's really like to be bullied and to be battered. That is not all fun and games or for
Right.
social media attention, because now you're seeing more of these interaction with these kids, cursing the adults out and everything else. These kids really need to see hands on what it's like to be bullied, what it's
Yeah.
like to be feared to go to school and come home, or what it feels like to be beaten by somebody. That's not cute. And I think when we out here fellowshipping and enjoying Thanksgiving, we also have to take a moment and think about those individuals. Like you said, Brenda, you have kids in foster homes who are not being adopted. They're gonna age out, then they don't have nowhere to go. So around this time, they probably feel some type of way too. Like, man, I want to be around family and friends,
Yeah.
and they don't have that. So yes, we need to think about those types of griefs as well. And these kids, yes, they lifestyles. I don't know that area, but they said that's the projects. I don't know their lifestyle, but looking at what they put on social media about their parents is no better. No better. And like you said, Brenda, you don't even know what the parents are going through. And these
No.
kids, like V said, they feel that energy in the house. And it's not good energy. So
Right.
yeah, they're gonna attack somebody who's seem like they're happy. And hey, why not mess with this person? Because we're miserable.
Yeah. And then some kids I keep on hearing, I mean, I didn't hear this when I was younger. Of course, that was a whole long time ago. But they're acting like, well, they're saying that a lot of kids go to school hungry. So that's
Hmm.
saying something
Yeah.
too, so I don't know. We don't have all the solutions, but I do know it starts with us, those who, if you really care about somebody, we're not going to talk about this forever. I like Life Jennings. I don't know why V reminds me of Life Jennings, but anyway, he said, uh, he says, don't just speak about it. He said, don't just speak and preach about it all day, because when you do, you run the risk of uh, uh, losing some of the most beautiful people, pushing some of the most beautiful people away. He said, don't just, he was talking to pastors. He said, don't just speak about it. Don't just preach about it. Do something about it. So uh, I know we're on a podcast, but individually, I pray that we are intentionally touching some lives that needs to be touched. Some of those kids who fought that mother. Anytime you can curse out a mama like some of those, and those kids, I don't feel like I want to slap them upside the head. I just know that if see, that lady was sickly, and I say that if that was me, I don't know, I'd probably be in jail. But we don't know what we would have done. We don't know. You don't have to be a sickly mom. We could just be in a situation. We could be somewhere and teenagers start stuff and they want to
Mhm.
fight you. And if you're one mom, what can you do? What can we do? We- We're
And
not
they
obsolete from this stuff happening to us. You know. So I just say we should try to counteract some things.
Yeah. I think
Mm.
this whew, that is a lot. Just watching that video of the mom, and now you got to think about like some of the things that her kids are going to go through because of that. If you noticed, one of her sons was clinging to her like as if he wanted to protect her while
he
she was
was trying
trying
to
to
protect
protect
her.
him.
That's the one that was
um
getting bullied.
yeah,
Mm.
but it you know I'm at loss for words, and that rarely happens, but looking at that did something to me. And I'm
Right.
like you, Brenda. I probably would have been up there the next day with ponytails if that was my family member trying to act like I was one of the
Mhm.
kids. So I could a couple of them, but
No,
that doesn't solve any problems. It
no.
only adds to it.
Yep, because you'll
Um,
be in jail.
Right.
Mhm.
it's terrible because you didn't initially see a lot of the parents come forward, and then
Mm-hmm.
you did see a couple, but I honestly, some of the videos I saw, I was like,
Disturbing.
I just wonder what goes on in that household, because
Hmm.
sometimes you got to think these kids aren't misbehaving or acting out for no reason.
Yeah, but
Usually
Yeah.
there's
we have
something deep down inside that makes them act this way. Bullies aren't born overnight.
Right.
Um, you
yes,
know,
but as a community though, I mean looking
I
at that
loved how
video.
we I loved how the community, and not just that particular neighborhood, I loved how the community showed up, the black community, like, hey, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
But yes, but that was the after fact. I'm talking about when you see a group of kids. Before it became those many kids, I'm sure it was probably like three or four at one time, and then it was five. But when the parents and adults saw these kids,
Right.
before it get to this point,
Hmm.
we got to stop acting like that ain't our business. We got
And
to
that's what
stop
people
acting
do.
like we are not responsible, because now when something like this has happened, not everybody want to get in and get
Right.
together. But I assure you that somebody saw them kids
Yes.
accumulating or graduate,
Yes.
multiplying,
You talking on
and
that
Yes.
block?
that was not their business. They chose to
Yeah.
turn to walk that far. You tell me no car didn't pass.
Right.
Nobody
Right.
Yeah.
saw the group of kids to, but again, a lot of us feel like that's not our business.
Yeah.
That ain't our problem.
And
And we can't be sitting back on the sideline and not want to take accountability ourselves of what's going on. It's in our backyard.
Mhm.
and just touching on what you said, Darlene. So, from my understanding, this several of those kids that were part of that group have been in trouble before on some
Mm.
bully type things, and
Oh,
maybe some
really?
I think they said that they had messed up a vehicle or whatever.
Wow.
So these are things we're seeing. If you don't stop these kids now, we're going to see them in the news again in the future. And let's just pray that this was a wake up call, because they got some bad attention that maybe it made them look at themselves for real. Because one little girl was on there crying, saying she would never do this, and it's not like her, and she's an AB student. And again, it's got to be something going on in that house, because rarely do you see AB students running around bullying people or hitting a grown woman, because she
Well,
was
that's
one of the
peer
first
pressure
ones to
too.
hit the grown woman.
But that
Ten
could be
And she
peer
kids?
was an
pressure.
eighth grader. So by
Yes.
eighth grade, you should know wrong from right and know that you shouldn't be swinging on an adult.
Right.
Right. But
They
if
don't.
she's
They don't
with
know respect.
but if she's with friends and she scared herself to go against them, because that's happening too. When I was in eighth grade, I was an honor student from fifth grade up. And when I was in eighth grade, I was in one of the smarter classrooms, and my teacher one day told me, I think I shared this story. I was laughing and fooling around with some of the other guys. Like we had a special little section because we were some honor students, right? So we laughing and I'm playing, and this is three boys and it's just me. And the teacher came over to my desk. He was so upset that, and all I was doing was laughing and giggling and stuff, right? But I wasn't supposed to be doing that at that time. He came over to my desk, knocked on the desk real hard, and he said, "And you." He pointed at me, man, and he said, "You're smart. You're this and that." He told me stuff, and he said, "But you're over here acting ignorant."
Ooh.
Sometimes the peer pressure has you with the crowd, and I didn't even think of that as peer pressure, but I did know that it was we had that time we had over there, we were supposed to be doing something, and I'm laughing and acting like they whatever they said was so funny. But I tell you this, I remember that teacher from 8th grade, and he changed my whole life. When I got to high school and I was in honors classes, I always acted responsibly because nobody, even my parents, had not said to me, "You're smart." Made me seem exceptional. I did not know that. I just thought, I mean, the work was easy to me. I thought that was just automatic. But sometimes you need somebody, and an educator that pointed it out and made you feel like something. Sometimes kids don't feel like anything. We don't know what these kids are going through. That's why I saw some people saying what they would have done, and I thought about it, and I took my anger back, because sometimes those kids are going through something. They're fighting for their lives at their home, and that's not their fault. Some of them are probably going, we don't know if kids getting abused, they getting beat, so they beat other kids. We don't know. So I mean, that was really bad, and I do feel like you said, those kids need to go to some kind of place. They need to be, what didn't they used to have something called Scared Straight or something like that? They
Yep, they need
they
to bring
need
it
to be
back.
scared straight. They really do need to be scared straight. I believe that, but also they need to be prayed for and loved.
I
I think
tell
that's
you,
the
I tell you
thing.
like this. I'm sorry. I tell you like this. Being times have just changed so much, and what I was gonna say about her, like being an AB student, don't have anything to do with respect. Just like you got cats out here, straight savages, dudes who dudes who we know are killers. That, but it's that got nothing to do with respect. They still have a certain respect there. I think a lot of kids today, even a lot of adults, people don't have respect and don't know what respect is.
Nope.
And
I agree.
because think about, I mean, even me, I'm in my 40s now. I just didn't know people even when we was beefing then. You seen moms, pops, an adult, it was over with. You
Right,
catch them tomorrow, you catch them the next day or whatever. But you just
right,
not stepping up to nobody. Like I say, I know people just straight up like don't give a damn about nothing, but
Mm-mm.
they ain't
right.
stepping to your peoples like that. They not stepping to no adults, no mothers, none of like that. So I just think today times have changed so much. I mean, social media, everything that's going on
Yeah,
out here.
yes,
And kids, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of like people who younger than me now, I know people my age, do the best they can. People younger than me, people probably in their 30s now. These are their kids coming up. Or like they might be like what 25, 26, going on 30 or like early 30s. These they kids coming up. A lot of these kids are raised by phones,
Tablets.
raised by social media, just not really sat down to really know what respect
right,
is or what's how you approach, how you talk to adults, how you respect people.
right,
And then it's no, and for the kids' sake, I guess, like I say, they feel things, they don't know how to respect adults because a lot of adults they see, I mean, don't respect their damn self. It's just kind of a mess.
yeah,
And so it's
and
like,
that's
how do we install respect in the children? How do we, you know, get them to do that? That's the question I ask. Like, what do we do? And how this world is today. And
Yeah.
what the goals are, what they
I don't know, figure to
I don't
make
know.
take accountability. I come from the same, even though there's a big age difference between us, but
Hmm.
I come from that era where we doing our dirty, and then boom, you saw Miss Liz, and you had to straighten
Right.
up, and you
Yeah.
saw so and
Yeah.
so gonna. Um, I don't, I don't want to say that we put that. I come from a, I believe TI. I demand respect, so a person walk past me, I'm in the gas wherever I'm at. I'm gonna demand you respect me, but I don't say you have to bring all the traditional ways back, but we have to find a way to make the parents take accountability of what they are allowing. What they say, the things we tolerate, teach people how to treat us. So that's going back at home. We got to do something at home to make these kids respect home, and then they can later respect others. But if you ain't respecting home, no doggone well, you ain't gonna respect no office. You ain't gonna respect nothing if you ain't
Yep.
got
But
nothing
I
to
even
know.
do.
the school system has changed. Everything got laxed,
Because
and
we
I
took
think
God
that
out of it.
oh,
Took God
they took
out
where
of it.
out of the school, right? Uh,
And you
so
know,
go
not
ahead.
just even taking God out the schools, but like you said, when you saw Miss Liz, you was gonna straighten up because when we were growing up, if you didn't, Miss Liz was gonna get you together, and then she was gonna tell your mama, now you gotta get
To
into it with not get into it in that sense, but you have to get it from Miss Liz, and then you're gonna get it from your mom or dad. At some point they stopped allowing you to talk to their kids. Don't talk to my kid, or don't say nothing to my kid. I handle my kid myself. Clearly not. But I think the community that did show up showed that you just don't do this. So somebody still got a little of that in them, and hopefully we'll start seeing it come back again. Where if your child is doing wrong and I tell you about it, we don't have to fight about it. You'll say thank you and deal with your child.
I will
Yeah,
handle it. Yep.
yeah,
But tonight was a good topic. Enjoyed the conversation. Though we got started late, but we
yeah.
Yeah,
ended on a
so
good note.
I guess we can head on into our closing thoughts because the time is winding down. And we took a little time to talk about the situation that's going on in the city about the young woman and her child, well, her children, and the misfortune they got in. But overall, that still is going to present itself as some form of grief. So we didn't get off topic very
Right.
much, but we definitely wanted to address that as it's happening, and we're dealing with it
Right now.
citywide. So yeah,
Right, and somebody's grieving that for that family. People are grieving
That's
yeah.
all
grief.
over
That's
the
grief.
world for
Yeah.
that family. That is real sad, and grief
Hmm.
is sad. Is the yeah. I don't think there's any happy grief. I mean, I think people deal with it differently. Some people get happy and drink a lot when they're grieving. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that we had to bring that up because when I heard that, I mean, that just hit me like somebody punched me in my stomach, you know?
Hmm.
The grief was
Yeah.
bad. And for that mom, I did grieve. Okay, so closing thought,
Well,
my
who wants
closing
to start them off?
Darlene.
Yeah, okay, well, my closing thoughts want to deal with both of the subjects. So as we dealing with grief around the holidays, I really hope that we can try to take a second, a minute, an hour just to change our thought and be thankful and be grateful for what we have. And as far as the community of what happened with the young lady and the kids, I hope that we all try our best to make a difference. Try our best to be a better person. Let's see who we can help around this holiday to uplift them. And let's also see, can we take a little more responsibility, a little more action towards guiding these our young ones. so we can reverse what is going on right now.
Amen. Amen.
It's a good one.
Amen.
All right. Well, to you, Darlene, I say that I'm glad you beat some cold blues because I'm thankful that you are sitting here with us and we have, grown to know you and you played a big part in our conversations in our day to days. So I'm thankful for that. And I hope that you can process your grief and continue.
Same to you.
And for me, for my closing thought, I had gotten into the habit of doing something around the holidays when I was part of this nonprofit. We would like go feed the homeless, and sometimes we did blanket drives, and we did used to go to a nursing home. And when you all were talking about that, it made me happy because it was two little ladies. They were so feisty. I loved them to death. And whenever we would go to that nursing home, it was like I would go straight to them, like, hey, what y'all doing? And we used to go play games with them. And a part of me had been longing to pick that back up, but for whatever reason, when COVID came around, that kind of was thrown out the wayside.
Yeah.
But this year, well, last year, my younger sister and I, we went and volunteered at a food bank that was operating out of McCormick to, gather dinners together. So that was good. And we were thinking about trying to do something this year, but instead we're going to do a walk. And I love walks. Don't ask me which one because I just told my little sister, yeah, and told her to just go on and sign us up. But that's one of the things that I used to do from time to time. And like, so I'm finding ways to deal with feeling down or blue by doing the things that I like to do. And it's something about helping other people that does something to my heart. So whatever I do, I'll be surrounded around family that I love definitely this year. And the walk, that'll be one thing that I do that I love to do. So I just want everybody that's dealing with grief, especially around the holidays, to, like you said earlier, try to focus on what you're thankful for because Thanksgiving is the season of thanks. So let's just focus on what we're thankful for and know just whatever you're going through, it could always be worse.
Yep.
Amen.
All righty.
Kim, you
Okay,
want to
my
go? Or you
closing
want me
thought.
to go?
Somebody said something?
No, I
V,
was
you
just
had
saying,
closing thought?
y'all want to go? I could go. I could go last, ladies first, or it don't matter.
All right, that's cute. Um, my closing thought is I don't want to do um, all the Christmas hype and the presents and the gifts and buying just to be buying. I want to express to my family that the gift is them. The gift is love. Let us share love. Um, my mom went to the nursing home and our family kind of scattered. And I don't want to deal with that this year. We're bringing my mom to my daughter's house for Thanksgiving, and I'm not hounding anybody because I can. I want to just see us come together in love. I just think the word says that love covers a multitude of sins. If people love more with their heart and not their minds, not thinking about what somebody did in the past, or what somebody's gonna do, but if we love with our hearts, we can have a great Thanksgiving. We can have a great Christmas without physical gift, because the greatest gift is love. That's my
All right.
closing thought.
Go ahead, V.
Um, just this holiday season, man, my hearts are with everyone. Like I said earlier, who's going through grief. This holiday season, just enjoy each other to the utmost. Because one thing I know is that, especially just a lot of people that's going through grief and losing loved ones and stuff, it makes me that much more grateful to be around family and to have my people here still. And
Yes.
just enjoy each other. Don't take anything so serious. Love on one another, be safe. And also, like what you just said, Brenda, not want physical gifts and all this stuff. I think this holiday season, especially what's going on, let's stay and let's enjoy dinner, enjoy
Mhm.
family. Let's chill in the house, midnight
Yep.
to 6 in the morning, get some sleep this season. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being
Right.
out shopping.
Right.
Um, get up, go have some breakfast the next morning, watch the Bears or something, just chill. And that's it, man. Stay in the house, man. No spending no money. We let's start here to get things back on track for us. You feel me?
Amen.
Yep.
So, that's
Amen.
it.
All right. You got anything, Kim?
My closing thoughts would just pretty much summarizing what everyone said, that grief is not only death. Grief, it could be a lot of things. So if you have time or if you have nothing to do, go spend time with the ones who don't have the families. Spend time with the ones who are stuck in a home or just stuck just not doing anything, because loneliness can be grief too for some people. So
Yes.
just keep that in mind, that loneliness is a form of grief. So if you can fellowship or spend time with someone who you know is lonely, do that. It would make a big difference to them. I promise you it will.
Amen. All right.
Great, great topic tonight, everyone. Next week we'll be doing a pre-recorded show, and it will be on being thankful. So,
Mm.
in our grief,
So,
we kind of touched on being thankful, so we can open that up next week. So,
okay.
until then, see you later, everyone.
All
Bye.
right.
Peace out.
Peace, guys.
Peace, y'all.
Love you guys. Bye bye.
Peace.
Okay, the recording is ending, but it's still playing it down.
Thanks for supporting our podcast. We look forward to see you next Thursday at 8 p.m. We also ask that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. The more subscribers we have, the more YouTube will push our podcast to more viewers. But until then, subscribe also for a peaceful mind. Your activity will reflect that peace.